I never need a reason to talk about the underrated modern classic that is Metaphor ReFantazio, but DXRacer sent me a limited edition Metaphor ReFantazio gaming chair, and as I sit here getting ready to build it, a metaphor actually came to my mind. And I'd like to share that with you because I think this knowledge can help you directly improve your life today. And I know that might sound crazy if you don't know me, but please allow me a few minutes to elucidate my meaning. Let's get into today's agenda. To be clear, there won't be any major spoilers in this video, and you don't need to have played the game to understand my message here. Now, as you can see, I have several different components here. What I want you to pay attention to is the fact that as it stands, I have nothing of value, right? Just a bunch of different things laying around. But here's the thing, if you look beneath the surface and seek out ways to make the different objects here connect, that's when you can build something special. This idea echoes a principle articulated by the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, who argued that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Maybe you've heard that phrase before. Individually, these pieces have potential, but only when properly integrated into a unified structure do they become capable of fulfilling a meaningful purpose. For Aristotle, this wasn't just an observation about objects, it was a foundational claim about reality itself. In his work Metaphysics, he explains that a true substance is not merely a heap of components, but an organized unity structured toward an end. A pile of wood, metal, and fabric is not yet a chair. It becomes a chair only when its parts are arranged according to a specific form, ordered toward the purpose of supporting a human body, right? The form gives coherence and the purpose gives direction. Without those two things, you don't have a whole, you have a collection. Now, Aristotle extended this logic to human beings. In his ethical writings, especially in Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle argues that the good life, what he called eudaimonia, or flourishing, is not achieved through isolated traits or sporadic actions. Sit. Good girl. It emerges from the harmonious integration of virtues. Courage alone is insufficient. Intelligence alone is insufficient. Ambition alone is insufficient. These qualities only become truly virtuous when they are calibrated and balanced within a unified character. Just as a chair collapses if one leg is misaligned, a person collapses into vice when one trait dominates without moderation. And here's where this becomes practical rather than abstract. Aristotle believed that flourishing is inherently social. Humans, he famously wrote, are political animals, meaning we are naturally oriented towards life and community. Our reasoning, our moral development, and even our identity are shaped through participation in a larger whole. The individual cannot fully actualize their potential in isolation because many of our virtues, justice, generosity, loyalty, only exist in correlation to others. So when we look at these scattered components, all over the floor, we're not just seeing a metaphor for cooperation, we're seeing a reflection of Aristotle's deeper claim that purpose, structure, and relationship are what transform potential into actuality. The parts matter, but the arrangement matters more, and the end toward which they are directed matters most. Metaphor ReFantazio beautifully exemplifies these concepts through its positioning of coalition building within the foreground of both roll over. Of both the game's narrative and its gameplay systems. Briefly provide context of Metaphor ReFantazio's setting. The game is set in the nation of Uchronia, in an era defined by instability and inequality. This is a world with 9 different races of people and rampant racism and classism. Begin your journey after the king of Uchronia was assassinated, and in a dying gambit, he activated royal magic and cast a nationwide spell that made it so that the successor to the throne would automatically be selected based on who the most people desired to rule. In this story, you journey across the world and meet people of different races and socioeconomic backgrounds. to be frank, it is impossible for your party members and yourself to reach your goals without finding a way to band together. Because when you do, you not only gain more power in combat, which I will get to in a second, but you also build yourself up as a better person. You see, narratively speaking, each new party member that you encounter has a unique perspective on how to improve the world state of Uchronia and what the potential pitfalls of an equality-based utopia would be. Through building coalitions with all of these distinctive individuals and having personal conversations, you in turn become more erudite and more equipped to connect with the masses and actually enact a genuine positive change on the kingdom. Now, I'm a sucker for games that use their gameplay mechanics to meaningfully storytell in subtle ways. And this is absolutely one of those games. In combat, you and your party members utilize an ancient power called archetypes in order to maximize your combat potential. It's integral to find ways to synergize with your teammates. This means playing around with positioning your party in different rows and selecting archetypes that can use synergy skills together. Picking certain archetype combinations literally gives you access to more powerful skills called synergies, which can directly decide if you are victorious in battle or not. Modern psychology describes a similar phenomenon in real life, and it is called collective intelligence, right? So this is the idea that diverse groups, when properly coordinated, can outperform even their most capable individual members. The archetype system, it operationalizes this principle. Individually, your party members are strong, right? But only through deliberate and specific coordination do they unlock abilities that cannot exist in isolation. While this chair metaphor is my delivery system here, what I'm trying to convey to you matters because most of us, we try to live like loose parts scattered on the floor without knowing the latent potential that is within us if we open ourselves up. We guard our perspectives, we cling to our strengths, we isolate our ambitions, and then we wonder why nothing meaningful takes shape. Isolation feels powerful because it protects the ego. When you operate alone, you never have to confront your blind spots, but you also cap your growth. Developmental psychology suggests that identity formation is dialogical. We become who we are through interaction. Without friction, there is no refinement. Without contrast, there is no clarity. The scattered chair parts on the floor are safe from error, but they also are incapable of function. Metaphor ReFantazio argues through its story and its gameplay systems that real power comes from integration. And integration can be harder than independence because it demands humility. It requires admitting that your current configuration is incomplete. But incompleteness is not weakness. It is actually the precondition for growth. The assembled chair is stable, not because any single component is extraordinary, but because each part accepts its role within larger structure. That is maturity. Understanding that significance does not require centrality. Listening before asserting, coordinating instead of competing, seeking out perspectives that challenge rather than comfort you. When you deliberately align your strengths with others, you don't just become more effective, you become more mature, more empathetic, and more capable of building something that lasts. If you take anything from our conversation today, let it be this. You don't always need to endeavor alone. Build coalitions, sharpen your character through contact with difference. Because the life you're trying to construct will only stand if you're willing to assemble it with intention and connection to the world around you. With today's lesson completed, I want to end with actually talking about this chair in a literal sense because I am fucking giddy about it. Guys, I've used the Secret Lab gaming chair for four years now, and while this stuff is subjective, I can definitively say that this DXRacer chair is by far the most comfortable chair I've ever sat in, both in a gaming context or an office context. This makes sense too because DXRacer is actually the company that launched the first gaming chair in 2006 and revolutionized the industry. So they've quite literally been at the whole, gaming chair thing longer than anyone else. And I think that shows. If you're interested in getting a DXRacer for yourself, please use the link in the description and use code Khury at checkout for a discount. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's an absolute honor to be able to create videos for you all. We are now 9,000 people strong at this point on the channel, which means more to me than you will ever know. I can never quantify what it means for me to have one person care about my videos I make, let alone the amount of folks we have here with us now. If you're enjoying the discussions in the comments or the videos themselves, definitely subscribe. We'd be honored to have you join us here. Check out the other videos on my channel for more content like this, and have a great day, night, or morning, and remember to be kind and thoughtful. Peace.